Are you following me? Are you following me, dude?
This week's Instagram segment, we are featuring Lanny of the Gingerfoot Garden. Lanny is an Insta gardener where she shares all of her gardening adventures. All right, so let's welcome Lanny to our show from the Gingerfoot Garden. Awesome to have you here with us this week.
Hello.
Excellent.
Hello.
Thank
Hello.
thank you for joining with us. How are you doing?
No problem. I am doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
We're doing great over here in Southern Oregon. Where do you garden from?
So I live here in Maryland, Zone 7, and yeah, it's actually pretty good today. The weather is beautiful, and I can't wait to get out there soon.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. It's been something for us here too in Southern Oregon where I live. So the winter weather has been kind of holding on, and we just had some snow recently and some cold nights, but everything's starting to kind of warm up, and I've got my hopes up that we're all going to be ready to go here real soon. So I started getting out and cleaning up the garden and figuring out what we're going to be doing. So, first thing I want to ask you is what was your first gardening experience? Where did it all get started for you?
Okay, so as far as gardening, I would say I've been exposed to gardening back when I was younger because my mom loves mostly ornamental plants because we have a small space. And if for just for background, I grew up back in the Philippines and moved here when I was 28. Yeah, when I was 28. So most of my context is the Philippines, and we live in a smaller space, so we didn't really have a lot of space to grow. But my mom loves growing orchids. But back then, I didn't really care so much about growing plants. But I've learned here and there a few things about gardening, but I haven't really get into gardening until we had the pandemic. And I think a lot of the gardeners these days could actually identify with that because it was a very stressful time for all of us. Most of us could say that we don't really know what's going on, and part of me was feeling scared and not sure about things. So I was starting to feel paranoid. And one time I was working with one of my friends just to just so we could go somewhere else and have a little bit of exercise. And we found this lady who is selling um, some ornamental plants for cheap because she was almost like, hey, take the plant, just give me whatever you want. And so I wound up taking home some succulents, spider plants, and I think euchera. And I just wanted to, I just wanted to keep the plants alive. So I started researching like how to care for plants and things like that. And next thing you know, I'm getting hooked because I'm learning so many things from, how to garden. And next thing you know, I'm
Yeah.
having that desire to grow something of my own
Right.
for myself.
Right. It's quite amazing, and definitely, I'm sure a lot of people can understand and relate to how things went during the pandemic. That was
Hmm.
one of the things for me. I'd already been gardening for a while, but especially during that time period, it
Hmm.
was really like one of those things that just brought such a relief from everything that was going on. Instead of feeling trapped indoors, it's just really awesome to get outdoors, start working with the land and the soil and caring for plants and all of that. One of the best things about gardening I find is that sort of kind of garden therapy that you get from
Yes.
growing plants and doing all that sort of stuff. And yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to find that and to be able to do that. It's just, again,
Hmm.
one of those things
Yeah.
that really does make a
Yeah. Like
difference.
I can tell you that like back then I don't really care about going outside at all. And it's funny. And since I started getting into gardening into plants, I wind up going, actually spending a lot of time in creating a space in our backyard where, it's, you're not just gonna, just like what you said, you're not gonna be stuck in the house. Instead, you have another place to go instead of just being inside the house. So that's just beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good place to escape is into the garden, and there's nothing better than growing plants. What are some of your favorite plants to grow in the garden since you got started?
Yeah, so I actually love growing succulents, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of space to grow them, so I'm very limited to growing them. I think I only have the echeveria, and I
Okay.
forgot I forget the name of the other plants. But the main plants that I actually love growing in is are actually the plants that I grew up eating back in the Philippines. And a lot of times I would find those vegetables in the Asian market, but most of the time the prices are not very cheap. So I said,
Yeah.
if I can grow them in my own backyard, that would be wonderful. So I started growing some of them. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
To name a few plants, I would say one would be calamansi. It's a citrus plant, which is more like a cross between lemon and lime. And I
Okay.
actually just bought the plant, and the one that I got was the variegated one.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful, and I'm looking forward to harvesting that.
Oh, that
Another
sounds
plant I
good.
would say would be the ginger.
You like to grow ginger, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Oh,
I've realized that there's a lot of people who are actually very interested in growing ginger. So I started ginger grow along on my Instagram account. Yeah, so we'll talk about that, I guess.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So out of all the different things that you've been growing and learning about growing, do you find any of them to be, what's your most difficult plant that you've had a hard time growing?
Mhm. So I would say the ginger gave me a hard. For some reason, it went back to going ginger. It because I came from the context of growing in a tropical country. I've always known warm weather, so I
Yeah.
didn't know how to grow, something in a colder climate. So I had a hard time in the beginning how to grow ginger, and then later on I kind of discovered how to grow it, and I would say that's the one that I had a hard time growing, but then I've learned later on how to do it. Another thing that I still haven't really mastered how to grow are the cabbages and
Oh,
broccoli. I
yeah.
haven't really grown a good head of cabbage and broccoli for some reason, but I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm still, getting something from the garden.
That's right. That's right. That's same with me. I have the hardest time with brassicas. They give me a challenge every single year, but like I say, I'm always determined to get it figured out. So I try no matter what each and every year to grow some. Last year, I ended up finally getting some decent broccoli out of my garden, so that was good.
Awesome.
But my cabbage heads only got, so big and didn't really fully develop. So again, another challenge for me too. I got the same challenges working on those brassicas, but I'm
Hmm.
determined. I will get them done.
Yeah. Yes. One day we'll get it.
That's right. That's right. So tell me, what inspires you? We know that you started gardening out of the pandemic and all of that. You're learning about doing all
Hmm.
of these different things in the garden. What inspires you to start up an Instagram and share all of your gardening experiences on Instagram?
All right. So when it comes to that, I really just wanted to give my Facebook friends a break from my post about plants and gardening, because I feel
Yeah.
like, oh man, my friends are gonna be so tired of this. And so I wind up like posting them on my Instagram. I created the account just basically dedicated for gardening. And the reason for that is because I feel like on Instagram you're not really gonna be judged so much when you post all about a certain topic. And
Yeah.
with that, it's funny how you wind up developing more relationship with other people and forming a community. And that, I think that's one of the reasons I fell in love with the Instagram account. If it's not account, but Instagram platform, more than
Yeah.
any of the other platforms.
Yeah. Definitely, and it's real. I think that Instagram is such a great fit for gardeners and being able to share and enjoy the gardening experience with everybody. And I'll tell you, you've done really well with that. Were you kind of surprised at getting all of the followers and all of that you ended up getting out of that?
Oh yes, oh yes. I like I told my husband before and other people that I'd never really expected to grow that much on Instagram. I just know that I just like the community. I just like the connections that I've made like it's like I said, it's quite funny to say that, oh, I have to talk about, oh, I have this gardening friend. You haven't really met them in person, but then you have somehow made a connection with them through Instagram, and it's just beautiful.
Yes, it's absolutely one of my favorite things about getting into the whole gardening community myself was to be able to meet and enjoy conversations about gardening and all the different aspects of gardening with all the people that are out there. And I found that the gardening community is definitely one of the best and most open communities that's out there, and I just really love it. And I really absolutely enjoy following your Instagram account. You've really done
Thank
well
you.
with it. And as far as gardening and Instagram, you're one of the you're Instagram famous in the gardening world, and it's really awesome to see all of the things that you've done. Do you have any plans for anything in the future for gardening or any other projects or anything like that you're working on?
Honestly, I just want to do I just want to be able to create I would say just be more organized when it comes to like posting, because I find it a little bit more challenging these days because of the things that we go through in life. And as if you guys have followed me for a while, you guys would know that my husband is going through chemotherapy right now, and things are a lot more challenging. He's doing okay, by the way, but things are a lot more challenging now. Even with me working part time as well, it's more challenging. So um, I'm trying to improve my system as far as growing in on Instagram, and I would say just want to do better. There's really no fancy plan at the moment.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. We never know. In 1 year, there could be something that would open up maybe more opportunities. We'll see how it goes. I just want to, be able to serve the companies that I work with and also the people that are following me. That's all that I have for now.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a really great job, and bless your heart, you're being with your husband and dealing with all of that you're dealing with there too. And really awesome of you to come here and join with us here on our show. It's been really great to have you here and have a little conversation about gardening and all of that. So thank you again for taking the time out of your Saturday here to join with us here on Let's Get Growing.
My pleasure. Thank you for
Awesome.
having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lanny. And everybody, be sure to go and check out her Instagram again down in the description below.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Enoch.
You got it. Awesome. We'll see you later. See you on
See
Instagram.
you.